Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for this Art for All session. My name's Gemma, I'm the Activities Coordinator here at Pendleside Hospice. So what I thought I would show you what to make today is a paper snowflake, a 3D paper snowflake. Now I know in the past on the day service unit we've made a lot of these because they're really simple, really effective. So I just thought I'd show you how to make one. Hopefully you've got these things at home, what we're using. So all you will need is some paper, white paper, or you can use some card, coloured card, patterned paper, some scissors. You might want a pen and a ruler, but you may not need one. And a stapler or some glue or something, that you can stick the paper together. So sticky tape, something like that. So I haven't actually got one made up yet, but we are going to make, if I can show you this, these are ones I've made earlier. It's like being on Blue Peter. So we're going to form a snowflake. So as you can see, that's the top half. So we're going to make the bottom half. So they look really complicated. So this is one flake that we're going to make. So they look complicated, but they are really quite simple. So we'll come back to those after. So what you'll need to do, if you've got a square card, then you won't need to do this first bit. But because mine isn't just square, then I'm going to have to cut a bit extra off this piece of paper. So say you've got a full piece of paper there. Sorry, the angle's a bit, you're not looking down on it, so I'll have to hold it up. So you've got your piece of paper there. So you need to just fold it in half. Just fold it over, so then you get a bit of extra paper at the bottom here. Now we're going to cut that bit off, okay? So we'll cut this off. Just follow the line along the bottom. There we go. So you end up with a folded square. Okay. And then what you need to do is you need to fold that over again. So fold it in half. So you get a tiny little triangle, folded triangle. Okay. Now what you need to do now, you need to we're going to cut three slits into it, okay? This is what you can use your ruler, or you can just try and cut a straightish line with your scissors. So on the folded edge, we're going to cut a slit, not all the way to the end, just kind of stop there, leave about 1 centimetre. And then next to that cut, we're going to do another one. So you can do them about 2 centimetres apart. And again, just leave a little bit of a gap there. So your first cut's a bit longer, your second cut's a little bit shorter, and then your third cut's even shorter still. Okay? So it should end up looking something like that once you've cut it. Then, when you open it out, you should have something that resembles that. Okay? But you might need a few goes at this just to get used to it. Okay. So now, the middle bit, this bit here, you're going to just fold that in to each other, so you end up something that looks like that. And then we're going to stick those two pieces together. So I'm using my stapler. I'm just going to, if my stapler works, just bear with me. Okay, so So I've just stapled those two edges together. Now, you need to turn your paper over and then do the same to the next slits. So you end up with something that looks a bit like that. Then you staple those. So wherever you've stuck, wherever you've stapled, you need to then flip it over and then you'll do your next slit, put those together. And I've run out of staples, so just let me put some more staples in. Oh, if I can get the staples out, that would help. Okay, I won't be a moment. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, so I'd stapled that, so you flip that over and you fold the next slits in together. Hopefully my staples will work. Okay. So your staples at the top, so you flip it over and then you fold the last pieces together, staple. So then you should end up with something that looks a bit like that. Now these look really nice just as they are, so if you didn't want to make a full snowflake, you can just use these as decorations and hang them up. You can do them different sizes, so you can make them smaller. But once you've got the gist of how to fold, then they're just really, really easy to do. So we'll do one more. Just get my paper. So again, I've not got a square piece of paper, so I'm going to make a square. So just fold it over. Best doing that on the table. So I folded it over and then you end up with that extra bit. Cut that bit off. This is if you haven't got squared paper. Excuse me. Okay, now you fold this triangle back over to make a smaller triangle. Okay, so then you end up with something that looks like that. And then we're going to now cut the slits. So remember, it needs to be on the folded edge. So it needs to be on the folded edge, or you end up just cutting the whole paper. So we're going to go up, leave about 1 centimetre, don't cut all the way down. Again, a little bit shorter than your last cut, and then a little bit shorter than that cut. Okay, you open it out and you end up with something that looks like that. So you get the middle, you fold them in, and then we're going to staple them or glue them, whatever form you're using. You could just use a bit of sellotape, because once it's all together you don't notice what you've stuck it down with, you just notice how beautiful it looks. I've got a bit of a dodgy stapler today. Okay, so I've folded the middle. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to flip it over so the staple, the glued bit is at the bottom. Get the next cuts, the next slits, bring those together and then staple. So end up with something that looks like that. You flip it over. Got mixed up myself then. Staple. And then flip it over and then staple. So it might take you a few goes to do this, but I'm sure you'll get it. It's really simple when you know how to do it. Okay, so that's our last snowflake. So now it's a case of putting them all together. Now if you've got a staple gun, a stapler, then it is a bit easier. So you can get 3 of your snowflakes together to make one big snowflake. So you get your one, and then you'll see there's a nice area here that we're going to stick everything together. And you get the next one, and you're going to just put them together, hold them together at the bottom there. It's a bit flimsy with paper, so just be careful. And then again, you get your next one and just bring that together. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to staple those 3. So they're all held together at the bottom. I'm going to staple. And then what I'm going to do now, because they're quite floppy, I'm just going to bring that up to that snowflake like that. And I'm just going to staple them together there. Okay, so now you can see they're not so floppy. And then this one, bring that one up to there and just staple the middles together. It looks a bit faffy and complicated, but I can assure you it's not once you've got the hang of it. So that's your top of your snowflake. And then we're going to do the same with these 3. So your next 3 snowflakes, I'm going to put together. That we did the first lot. So just put them together like that. We're going to staple them at the bottom. So you end up with something like that. Again, we need to bring these up. So bring it up and just staple the middles so they have a bit more, you know, they're not as floppy. Then your next one, bring it up, staple. That's it. So you've got your 2 sections of your snowflake now, your bottom and your top, or your top and your bottom, whichever way around. And then the two ends, so if you can see the 2 ends that we just stapled, we're going to now bring those together. And then we're going to staple them at the bottom. So as you can see, they're all stapled. Bottom, and then just bring it round. Again, you can see it's a bit floppy, but we're just going to just staple them together now. Staple the snowflake petals, or whatever you want to call them, together. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my stapler today. Okay, and then you'll notice just this bottom here, we need to just staple that to that one. So you're stapling them to each other basically, just so then they're less floppy. There we go. Now, sorry, that seems a bit complicated showing you that way, but that is your end result. So really, really simple but effective. You might need a few goes just to get it right, but they're my absolute favourite things to make of these, because I just think they look amazing. So yeah, hopefully you can have a go. Let us know if you do make one, send us a picture. You can email it to myself or to the hospice, and we'll have a look at the wonderful creations that you're making. So hopefully you can have a go at that. You'll enjoy doing that. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.